30th of September 2024. This is a brand new edition of Newsfirst Primetime News on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I am Jayama Ratnayaka.
And I'm Naveksha Gunasekara, and here are your headlines for tonight.
Newsfirst headlines. Main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
Former President Ranil allocated 100 vehicles to personal staff, including 38 former MPs and a Porsche Cayenne S for Rosie. Opposition should form a broad coalition, says former Minister Manusha. SLPP to contest general election under the Pohottua symbol. No nominations for those who left the party, says General Secretary. Parents continue protests over Grade 5 scholarship issues. Demand re-examination.
Newsfirst headlines. Main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
In your top story for tonight, the President's Media Division revealed that 107 vehicles previously allocated to the former President's personal staff have been returned to the President's office over the past few days following notifications. This announcement was accompanied by a report detailing the vehicles and their usage by the former President's personal staff. According to the report, a luxury Porsche Cayenne S was among the vehicles provided to one of the former President's advisors.
The President's Media Division has revealed that a luxury Porsche Cayenne S was provided to former Colombo Mayor Rosie Senanayake, who served as an advisor to former President Ranil Wickremesinghe. However, the President's Media Division has not disclosed further details about the vehicle provided to Rosie Senanayake. A 2012 model of this vehicle is valued at over 21 million rupees in the local market, while a 2022 model exceeds 32 million rupees. The 107 vehicles allocated to the former President's personal staff were provided under the provisions of Article 41(1) of the Constitution. This article allows the President to appoint secretaries, and with the approval of the Cabinet, he can also appoint other officials and staff members. However, the salaries for these personal staff members are paid from the Consolidated Fund, which is maintained with public money. According to the statement released by the President's Media Division, 5 secretaries and Chief of Staff Sagala Ratnayake were provided with luxury vehicles. Ratnayake received a Toyota V8 SUV. Senior advisors Akhila Viraj Karyavasam, Dr. R.H.S. Samarathunga, Sunanda Madhuma Bandara and Vadivel Suresh were also provided with luxury vehicles, which have now been returned to the President's office. Additionally, 8 other advisors were given luxury vehicles by the former President. Former Parliamentary Secretary General Priyani Vijay Sekara and former Ministry Secretaries Dr. Suren Batagoda and R. Paskaralingam were among those who received vehicles. Former Minister P. Harrison, appointed as Chief Coordinator, was provided with a Nissan Patrol SUV. 8 Director Generals appointed to the former President's personal staff were also given luxury vehicles, which have now been returned. 26 directors appointed to the former President's personal staff were also provided with luxury vehicles. 10 coordinating secretaries to the former President have returned their vehicles to the President's office. Governor Sendil Tondaman was provided with a Land Rover Discovery 4. 38 members of Parliament who served on the former President's personal staff were also provided with vehicles. State Minister Sita Arambepula received a Mercedes-Benz S300, while Mahindananda Alutgamage was given a Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. Ranjit Bandara and Gamini Lokuge of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna were also provided with vehicles under the former President's personal staff. Other parliamentarians who received vehicles include Vimal Veeravansa, Milan Jayatilaka, Nimal Piyatissa, Udayana Kirindigoda, Jagat Priyankara, Kokila Gunawardana, Manjula Disanayaka, M. Rameshwaran, Sudat Manjula, Rajika Wickremesinghe, Chintaka Mayadunne, Piyankara Jayaratna, Gunatilaka Rajapaksa and Douglas Devananda. Diana Gamage, who lost her parliamentary seat by court order, was also provided with a V8 under the former President's personal staff. Other parliamentarians who used vehicles include Pradeep Undugoda, SM Chandrasena, Madhura Vithanage, SM Musharraf, Sudarshana Denipitiya, Sampath Atakorala, Veerasena Gamage, Muditha Prashanthi Disoisa, Udaya Shantha Gunasekara, SB Disanayaka, Asanka Navaratna, Gayashan Navananda, Upul Mahendra Rajapaksa, Kapila Atakorala, Vijita Berugoda, Jayanta Katagoda, Ajit Rajapaksa, SC Muthukumarana and Sahan Pradeep Vithana. The President's Media Division clarified that these vehicles were parked outside the President's office due to lack of space within the premises and emphasized that this was not intended as a display. Following instructions from President Anura Kumara Dissanayake, the President's office is currently reallocating these vehicles for essential services.
Former Minister Manusha Nayakkara stated today that all opposition members should unite and contest the parliamentary elections as a broad coalition. Former President Ranil Wickremesinghe's faction is engaged in various discussions regarding this matter.
Various parties continue to visit and engage in discussions at Ranil Wickremesinghe's presidential campaign office on Flower Road, Colombo today.
Our hope is to contest as a broad coalition. We believe that all opposition members should unite at this time. However, some individuals are reluctant to join due to their personal ambitions. We are looking to work with groups that can come together for the common goal. Discussions are still ongoing and no final decision has been made yet. We hope to have a definitive answer by tomorrow.
A group of United National Party constituency organisers also participated in today's discussions.
The UNP held discussions, as did the majority group of the SLPP. Additionally, the former Prime Minister's team had some discussions outside. Everyone agrees that we should go forward as a broad coalition under a common symbol.
සමග ජන බලවේගයේ සාකච්ඡාවල තවමත් විවෘතව තියෙනවා. නමුත් අපි අපේක්ෂා කළ ප්‍රමාණයට සාකච්ඡා ඉස්සරහට යනවාද කියන කාර්ය පිළිබඳ පුංචි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. එතන කොතනද මේ නැවතුනේ? මොකක්ද හේතු උනේ? සමහර එකඟතාවයන් වලට ඒම කියන කාරණේදී සංකේත පිළිබඳ
There was an issue regarding the symbol during some agreements. They wanted their symbol. Our majority group believes we should go with a common symbol. Generally, when forming a coalition, parties do not stick to their individual symbols but go with a common one. These are some of the issues, but discussions are still open and ongoing. Teams have been appointed within the party for this purpose.
පක්ෂය ඇතුලේ කණ්ඩායම් පත් කරලා තියෙනවා. දැන් නායකත්වයේ කාටද ලැබෙන්නේ ඔය සජිත් මහත්තයා ආවොත්? සජිත් මහත්මයා ආවොත් සජිත් මහත්මයා
If Sajid Premadasa joins, he will lead his party and Ranil Wickremesinghe will lead the UNP. We have no issue with giving the prime ministerial candidacy to him. However, we will contest the election as a united coalition.
තරඟ කරන්නේ.
A group from the United National Party was prepared to visit the Sirikota party headquarters today. However, before that, former President Ranil Wickremesinghe held a discussion with them.
Today we had planned a major protest, but we decided to stop it and instead have a discussion with the former president. He emphasized that we need to move forward not just as a party but on an international level. If we are to take this message to the world through Facebook or the internet, this country needs to develop beyond party politics. We also requested to improve the conditions at Sirikota. Additionally, he asked us to support his continued leadership.
Subsequently, several individuals arrived at the UNP headquarters at Sirikota.
When we mentioned a discussion, some thought it was a protest. We are not protesting in front of Sirikota. We are having discussions inside. Today we were involved to discuss future organizational activities. We received a message that the leader needs 2 more days to finalize the party's future plans and decisions for the election. After that, we will gather everyone and have further discussions.
The Sri Lanka Podujana Perumuna has decided to contest in every district under the Pohottuwa symbol. The party's General Secretary stated that no nominations will be given to those who have left the party.
පක්ෂය හැටියට අපි ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
We have made a decision as a party. For the upcoming parliamentary elections, we will contest in all districts across Sri Lanka under the Pohottuwa symbol. We are forming strong teams to face this election and to ensure the party's success. We are committed to this decision and will act accordingly.
ඉන් ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්නත් තීරණයක් අරගෙන ඒ අනුව අපි කටයුතු කරනවා. අපි පක්ෂයක් හැටියට
We remain firm in our decision as a party. No one who has betrayed the party will be given high positions or nominations again.
ලබා දීමක් හෝ නාම යෝජනා ලබා දීමක් කරන්නේ නැහැ.
Former Minister Vimal Veeravansa stated that they will contest the parliamentary elections under the banner of the Sarva Jana Balaya.
මහමැතිවරණයට අපි දැන් සර්ව ජන බලය හැටියට සාකච්ඡා කරගෙන යනවා. ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් කටයුතු කරගීම සඳහා දැන් අවශ්‍ය පියවර ගනිමින් තියෙනවා. මම හිතන්නේ නෑ විපක්ෂයේ ඉන්න ඔක්කොම එකතු වෙන්න පුළුවන් විදිහේ තත්වයක් තියෙනවා කියලා. ඒකට හේතුව ප්‍රතිපත්තිමය වශයෙන් විසම්වාදයක් තිබෙනවා එකිනෙකා අතර. ඒ නිසා තමයි අපි වෙනම සර්වජන බලය හැටියට මේ මහමැතිවරණයටත් ඉදිරිපත් වෙන අවශ්‍ය පියවර ගනිමින් ඉන්නේ.
Meanwhile, former parliamentarian Govindan Karunakaram says that the Tamil Common Fraternity is planning on contesting the upcoming general election under the symbol of the conch shell. He expressed these views in Batticaloa today.
The Tamil Common Fraternity decided on the 26th of September to contest under the conch shell symbol, which is unique to the Tamil community of Sri Lanka. Accordingly, we have requested the Election Commission to swap out the oil lamp symbol of the Democratic Tamil National Alliance and replace it with the conch shell symbol. We should be getting the decision on that soon. They might most probably approve this request.
The acceptance of postal voting applications for the 2024 parliamentary elections will commence tomorrow. This announcement was made by the Commissioner General of Elections, Saman Sri Ratnayaka, and he said that according to the Parliamentary Elections Act, applications for postal voting must be accepted from the 7th to the 14th day following the announcement of the election. Meanwhile, a group of healthcare professionals submitted a letter to the Election Commission today requesting the right to postal voting for those in the healthcare sector.
This morning, a group representing various sectors in healthcare submitted a letter to the Election Commission.
We were informed by the Commission that according to the Election Act number 15 of 1981, postal voting facilities cannot be provided to the healthcare sector. However, they promised to create an environment where a large number of healthcare workers can take leave to cast their votes. No government has amended this act for years to protect the voting rights of healthcare staff. We hope that after this election, postal voting rights will be granted to healthcare workers. For an election to be fair, it is essential that everyone has the opportunity to vote. The special gazette notification dated October 17th, 2023 states that all those working in healthcare institutions are designated as essential services. It is also mentioned on the official website that those engaged in essential services should be granted postal voting rights. Therefore, we are here to request that postal voting opportunities be provided to all healthcare workers, including doctors and nurses.
Welcome to Fox Candy. Your haven for unforgettable experiences.
පින්තාරු වැඩමුළුව හා ප්‍රදර්ශනය NVQ සහතිකලාබී වෘත්තීය පින්තාරු ශිල්පියෙක් ශිල්පිනියක් වීමට ඔබත් අදම එක්වන්න. විස්තර හා ව්‍යාපදිංචි වීමට අමතන්න 0777 6040. ජැට් පින්තාරු අභිමාන දේශීය දව පින්තාරු කරන්නේ උන්නතිය උදෙසා. දිවිය සරු කරන්න ගන්නා වෙහෙස නැත ගොඩයාමක් තිබෙන දුෂ්කරතා හමුවේ එනමුදු දහසක් ලෙඩරෝග බොන්නට පිරිසිදු වතුර නැතුව නිකවරටිය කොටවෙහෙර 257 දිගන්නාව ජනතාවගේ
හිතසුව පිණිස පිරිසිදු ජල පෙරණ පද්ධතියකට මුල් කල තැබූ වගයි.
විසේකාර, හැඩකාර, දඟකාර ලඳුන්ගේ විස්මිත දක්ෂතා අලංකාරය දකින්න. 2024 ICC කාන්තා T20 ලෝක කුසලාන ක්‍රිකට් තරඟාවලිය ඔක්තෝබර් 3 වෙනිදා සිට 20 වෙනිදා තෙක් එක්සත් අරාබි එමිරාජ්‍යයේදී පැවැත්වෙන තරඟාවලිය සජීවීව දකින්න. තරඟාවලියේ නිලදේශීය විකාශය TV1 ඔස්සේ බලාපොරොත්තු වන්න. සියලු තරඟ සජීවීව www.sirasatv.lk වෙබ් අඩවිය ඔස්සේද නැරඹිය හැකියි.
A group of parents staged a protest today demanding that Grade 5 scholarship examination be conducted again. Accusations have been made that certain questions of this year's paper had leaked prior to the conduct of the scholarship examination.
Yesterday, the Ministry of Education decided to award marks for the 3 questions of the scholarship exam paper which were allegedly leaked. This decision was made in accordance with the recommendations of the expert committee appointed by Prime Minister and Minister of Education Dr. Harini Amarasuriya. However, this morning a group of parents gathered opposite the Ministry of Education in Palavatta to express their concerns and demand that the examination be conducted again.
This decision that was taken by the Commissioner General of Examinations was endorsed by the Prime Minister as well. She appointed a 7-member specialist committee on the 29th to look into this matter. By the evening of the 30th, they had decided that the exam will not be conducted again. On what basis did this specialist committee take this decision? Were the children who faced the examination involved in any investigation?
Please, the child's mental health will not be affected by a re-examination. What are we doing in the name of developing a child's mentality and personality? We will have to tell the children how the paper was leaked and train them to get used to such incidents. They also won't be given another chance to face the exam. What are we supposed to tell our children?
When the parents blocked one lane opposite the Ministry of Education, police took steps to disperse them. Thereafter, police intervened and sent a group of parents to the ministry to engage in discussions.
There were 8 questions that had been leaked. We told them that. However, they only accepted that 3 questions have been leaked. The response we expected was that a new paper must be prepared, and we did not get that response. Therefore, these discussions were futile. All the parents have decided to bring this matter to the President's attention.
Thereafter, the group of parents staged a protest opposite the President's office, and a few of them were allowed into the premises for discussions. The group exited the premises later, claiming that no solution was provided for their issue.
අපිට ලැබුණා ජනාධිපති අතිරේක ලේකම්තුමේ සමග සාකච්ඡා කරන්න නිලධාරීන් 3 දෙනෙක් සමග බලාපොරොත්තු විය හැකි ආකාරයේ මේ පිළිසර පිළිතුරක් ලැබුණේ නැහැ.
පුංචි ළමයින්ගේ විභාගයට මේ කරපු කැත වැඩේ දඩුවම් දෙන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා මුලින් අපේ මේ ප්‍රශ්නෙට විසඳුමක් දෙන්න. පිට ජනාධිපතිතුමාත් එක්ක කැලින් කතා කරන්න.
ජනාධිපතිතුමාට වැඳලා කියන්නේ අනේ මෙතනට එන්න.
The parents remained opposite the President's office since this evening. Meanwhile, a group of parents from several schools in the Alpity Education Zone also protested today opposite the Alpity Zonal Education Office.
Now, sticking to the same story, a media briefing was held this evening headed by the Secretary to the Ministry of Education to clarify matters regarding the issue surrounding the Grade 5 scholarship exam. The Commissioner General of Examinations, who spoke at the press briefing, had this to say.
The expert committee has confirmed that this matter only relates to 3 questions in the paper. As the Secretary mentioned, we have provided a full report on this to the subject minister, who is the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister appointed the expert committee to study the facts and our recommendations and in turn provide us with their opinion. We made this decision based on the recommendations they provided. As mentioned yesterday, full marks will be given to those 3 questions. We plan to complete the evaluation of the papers and release the final results soon. The admission of children to other schools will be done based on the results of this exam. By mid-January next year, the academic year will commence, and by then, the children will need to be entered into schools. There is a requirement to release results soon. That is why this decision was made. It was made to minimize the detrimental impact on all students. If a great injustice is dealt through this decision, we will not hesitate to conduct the exam again. We have taken such decisions in the past, but considering the facts of this incident, there is a possibility to resolve this matter without holding the exam once more. The expert committees have also provided us with their views on it. This is a decision we made after considering the children's well-being.
හිතලා ගත්තු තීරණයක් කියන එක විශේෂයෙන් අපි කණ්ඩායමක් හැටියට මතක් කරන්නට ඕනේ.
The Court of Appeal ordered the suspension of 2 directives issued by former Colombo Fort Magistrate Thilina Gamage to the Criminal Investigations Department and the Cyber Crimes Division. These directives were to investigate journalist Tharindu Jayawardena and others based on a complaint by a lawyer from the Sinhala Rave organisation alleging contempt of court.
A petition was taken up in the presence of an appeal court bench comprising Justices Sampath B. Abeyakon and P. Kumara Ratnam. The Court of Appeal issued an order on the directives while delivering the judgment on a petition filed by Tharindu Jayawardena seeking to overturn the decision of the High Court Judge W.P.S. Nisanka, who had dismissed without examination the revision petition filed in the Colombo High Court requesting the suspension of the magistrate's order. The respondents in the petition included the Director of the Criminal Investigation Department, the Director of the Cyber Crimes Division, the Officer in charge of the Cyber Intelligence Unit and the Attorney General. The Fort Magistrate had ordered an investigation into Tharindu Jayawardena and others based on a complaint filed by a lawyer during an open court session. The complaint alleged that a group had committed a contempt of court during a media briefing opposing the arrest of comedian Natasha Edirisuriya under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights Act.
The inauguration ceremony of the Institute of Democracy and Governance was held today at the Lakshman Kadragaman Institute in Colombo.
The launch of IDAG.
The event commenced with an introduction to the Institute of Democracy and Governance and was followed by the formal signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between the Institute of Democracy and Governance and the Institute of Politics.
Education policy reform and leadership.
The official website of the Institute of Democracy and Governance was launched by former Speaker Karu Jayasuriya. A keynote address was delivered by Austin Fernando, former Secretary to the President of Sri Lanka.
I await Sri Lankan Minister to write the next book titled Why Sri Lanka Matters. I hope it will be written by somebody. Though a minor intervention, increasing 4 times the passport issues centers and relaxing verifications, supplementing the major project of bringing human capital to play, shows operational diversification. Incidentally, this is while we have failed to maintain the required stock of passports and arithmetical job. What Indians have done is to direct national policies and actions while withdrawing from ongoing inactions. It demands the formulation of national policies for which IDAG can assist. We require a national policy-making mechanism. From the idea of centralized policy-making, the Cabinet of Ministers evolved as the authority for national policy-making. It is constitutional because according to Article 43 of the Constitution, the Cabinet is charged with the direction and control of the government and collectively responsible and answerable to the Parliament. However, in practice, national policies have been introduced to gladden political egos and bureaucrats based on fewer stakeholder consultations, sometimes on the dictates of multilateral financing agents or even donors. The deepened crisis caused by some policies ended with the topmost political heads rolling. The only specified constitutional guidance for national policy making appears under the 13th Amendment, Appendix 2, to establish a National Land Commission, to formulate a national policy on state land use. This constitutional provision remains unimplemented for 36 years due to antiquated communal and political concerns, ignoring the constitutional diktat that this national policy is beyond political and communal consideration. But we hurriedly implemented ad hoc national policies for chemical fertilizer usage and fiscal and monetary controls, ending with disaster.
A documentary film titled The Enduring Legacy of Sri Lanka Bhimanya Karu Jayasuriya was also displayed at the event.
We stand at crossroads in Sri Lanka today. Over the years, our political system has faced many challenges. It has been tested sometimes by internal strife, sometimes by economic hardship, and sometimes by failures of governance. Throughout all of this, one truth has remained clear. Good governance is not a luxury, it is a necessity. And the quality of leadership determines the direction in which a country moves. We have seen scandals, corruption, and self-interest take precedence over the needs of the people. Too often, our politics has become a theatre, a spectacle, and true leadership has been sidelined. It was this realization and my deep desire to see a better future for our nation that inspired the creation of IDAG.
The final rites of former Minister Kumara Velgama were observed this evening at the Panthia Crematorium in Mathugama.
A large crowd, including many politicians, arrived at the former minister's residence in Horavala, Mathugama, to pay their final respects. Former Minister Kumara Velgama passed away on Saturday morning while receiving treatment at a private hospital in Colombo. He was 74 years old at the time of his demise. This evening, religious observances were conducted by the Mahasangha. Many politicians, including former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, paid their final respects to former Minister Kumara Velgama. The condolence message of the President, Anurukumara Disanayaka, was delivered by Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa.
කුමාර වෙල්ගම මහතාගේ අභාවයේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඔහුගේ බිරිඳ අතුරු දූ දරුවන් සහ නිමල් වෙල්ගම මහතා ඇතුළු සහෝදර සහෝදරියන් සහ පවුලේ සියලු දෙනාට මගේ සාතිශය කනගාටු පළ කරන අතර එතුමාට නිවන් සප ලැබේවා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමි. අනුකුමාර සානායක ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතාන්ත්‍රික සමාජවාදී ජනතාවේ ජනාධිපති.
Thereafter, the funeral procession carrying the mortal remains of the former minister reached the Panthia Crematorium in Mathugama, where the final rites were observed. The bell-ringing ceremony for the issuance of Sri Lanka's first Greek bond took place at the Colombo Stock Exchange.
The Colombo Stock Exchange hosted a bell-ringing ceremony to commemorate the first issuance of a green bond in Sri Lanka at the trading floor of the Colombo Stock Exchange. According to the CSE, the issuance of the first green bond not only represents a pivotal step towards sustainable financing, but also highlights Sri Lanka's commitment to environmental stewardship and responsible investment.
The Colombo Stock Exchange has for too long been a single product market, and I think the fact that we will have more issuances going forward will diversify our product portfolio. The interest we've seen in the issue has been great. We closed the issue, I believe, in a couple of hours after opening. That shows a strong investor appetite for this. But also one significant thing, I think, is that it was issued about 100 basis points below the risk-free rate. So it shows the benefit that potential issuers can get in terms of choosing this as a funding source. If you just look at some statistics for 2023, there's been a total issuance of $1 trillion that took place in sustainable bonds last year. I don't have the numbers this year. I'm sure it will probably outdo that number. And that really allows Sri Lanka a very unique opportunity to tap into that space, right? We all know, if you just take some of the dynamics, if you take the power sector, Sri Lanka has today about 50% of power generated through renewable sources, and the government has set a target of, I think, taking that up to 70% by 2030. Now, all of these projects actually allow those entities to tap into that green space, and I would like to encourage everyone here today, as well as the media who are covering this event, to highlight that fact, so that you can have a lot of the companies tapping into this space and utilizing the global wealth of funds that's out there that want to invest in this product.
The ADB is pleased to be part of this important journey, and with our collective efforts, this will be the first of many issuances in the country. So this transaction clearly illustrates how the capital market can support sustainable development and help Sri Lanka achieve its climate goals. As a green bond issuer, DFCC Bank has pledged to use the proceeds for projects that have positive environmental impact and to help tackle climate issues that threaten our economic recovery and social development. Let me share with you some interesting facts that we found on this topic. This will help us understand why addressing both environment and social issues for sustainable development is extremely urgent for the region and particularly for Sri Lanka.
We're very proud of this. I mean, the fact that DFCC is the first issue is a no-brainer. So there are three people here: the regulator, the team, and of course not forgetting the investor. To me, the investor is the most important. He's the one who's prepared to take that edge of, give meaning, if necessary, to a sustainable project. You see, to issue it twice at a premium is again a no-brainer. But the fact that an issuer is prepared to take a premium off and take it at a price that shows his intention to support green initiatives is a big thing for us.
Green bonds are bonds where the money from the bonds are earmarked for green purposes, such as financing renewable energy projects.
Renowned Sri Lankan cellist Deshamanya Rohan Diseram passed away at the age of 85.
Born in 1939, Rohan Diseram began his cello studies at the age of 11 under Gaspar Casado at Italy's Accademia Chigiana. By the age of 16, he was guided by Sir John Barbirolli and Pablo Casals, who recognized his remarkable talent, stating, quote-unquote, "There are few in his generation with such gifts." Diseram made his US debut at Carnegie Hall with the New York Philharmonic Orchestra, invited by Dimitri Mitropoulos. His distinguished career included collaborations with many notable composers. He was a member of the Aditi Quartet from 1979 to 2005. He also founded the Diseram Clarinet Trio and a duo with his brother Dhruvi Diseram. In honor of his contributions to music and culture, he was awarded the title of Deshamanya, one of Sri Lanka's highest distinctions. Renowned for his commitment to contemporary music and education, Diseram inspired a new wave of musicians. Peter Gorski even gifted him a special bow, which became a defining feature of his performances. As we remember Rohan Diseram's significant impact on the music world, we extend our heartfelt condolences to his family, wishing him eternal peace. The ashes of a World War II veteran were scattered at Trincomalee's Austenburg Point in a solemn and dignified ceremony.
The ashes of the late Lieutenant Norman Schofield, a Royal Navy officer, and Mrs. Schofield, his late spouse, were scattered with full naval honours at Trincomalee's Ostenburg Point. Between 1956 and 1958, Lieutenant Norman Schofield served as a communication officer at the HMS Highflyer Naval Base in Trincomalee, which was regarded as the second largest naval base in the world during that period. Honouring the final wish of Lieutenant Norman Schofield, who passed away 25 years ago, his ashes were intended to be scattered at sea in Trincomalee.
Sri Lanka's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has instructed Sri Lankan nationals not to travel to Lebanon and Syria until further notice due to the current volatile situation in the region. Issuing an advisory, the ministry has requested all Sri Lankans who are currently in Lebanon and Syria to be on alert and to take necessary precautions, including restricting their outside movements and maintaining regular contacts with the Sri Lankan embassy in Beirut and the honorary consul of Sri Lanka in Damascus. Meanwhile, Lebanon has witnessed another bloody 24 hours as relentless Israeli bombardment killed at least 105 people and injured 359 others.
Air attacks were reported across Lebanon on Sunday and overnight into Monday. The targets included a hit in the heart of the capital, Beirut, for the first time in years, signaling further potential escalation towards an all-out war. While Israel said it attacked dozens of Hezbollah targets, Lebanese officials said the bombardment struck homes and buildings in southern Lebanon, the Bekaa Valley, Baalbek Hermel Governorate and the southern suburbs of Beirut. Lebanese politicians described the assaults as a massacre. In the early hours of Monday, an Israeli strike was reported in the Kola Bridge area of central Beirut. The bombing was Israel's first attack within the capital's city limits since the start of the hostilities last year and is seen as another escalation of the conflict. The armed group in a statement said a separate attack in the southern El-Bas refugee camp killed the Hamas commander in Lebanon, Fateh Sharif. His family members were also reported killed. The strikes come in the wake of Israel's assassination of Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah in a series of air raids on Beirut's southern suburbs that flattened several buildings. The Israeli military said on Sunday it had also killed senior Hezbollah political official Nabil Kau. The Iran-linked group has not yet announced succession plans for who will replace its slain leader, who was seen as an essential figure in the group's previous confrontations against Israel, including the liberation of South Lebanon from Israeli occupation in 2000. Hezbollah on Sunday dismissed media reports about its plans to replace Nasrallah, stressing that any news about organizational changes within the group has no value unless confirmed by an official statement from the party.
As many as 192 people have so far lost their lives and 30 others have gone missing in the floods, landslides and inundation caused by incessant rains in Nepal.
Nepal's Home Ministry spokesperson Rishiram Tiwari informed 194 people were injured in the incidents of natural disaster. He said that more than 4,500 disaster-affected people have been rescued so far by mobilizing all security agencies for search, rescue and relief after the floods and landslides. Emergency relief materials, including food, have been provided to the flood and landslide-affected people, and the injured are being treated free of cost. Spokesperson Tiwari said that efforts are being made to open the obstructed highway for the operation of traffic.
විශේෂ ප්‍රවෘත්තියක් අද මධ්‍යම රාත්‍රියේ සිට ක්‍රියාත්මක වන පරිදි ඉන්ධන මිල පහත දමන බව ලංකා කයින් තෙල් නීතිගත සංස්ථාව පවසනවා. ඒ අනුව ඔක්ටේන් 92 පෙට්‍රල් ලීටරයක මිල පහත දමා ඇත්තේ රුපියල් 21කින්. ඒ අනුව එහි නව මිල රුපියල් 311ක්. ඔටෝ ඩීසල් ලීටරයක මිල පහත දමා ඇත්තේ රුපියල් 24කින්. එහි නව මිල රුපියල් 283ක්. සුප්‍රී ඩීසල් ලීටරයක මිල රුපියල් 319ක් දක්වා පහත දමා තිබෙනවා. රුපියල් 33කින් එහි මිල පහත දමා තිබෙන්නේ. භූමි තෙල් ලීටරයක මිල පහත දමා ඇත්තේ රුපියල් 19කින්. එහි නව මිල රුපියල් 183ක්. කෙසේ වෙතත් ඔක්ටේන් 95 පෙට්‍රල් මිලේ කිසිදු වෙනසක් සිදුව නැහැ. මෙන්න මේ පුවත නැවතත් අද මධ්‍යම රාත්‍රියේ සිට ක්‍රියාත්මක වන පරිදි ඉන්ධන මිල පහත දමා තිබෙනවා. ඒ අනුව ඔක්ටේන් 92 පෙට්‍රල් ලීටරයක මිල පහත දමා ඇත්තේ රුපියල් 21කින්. එහි නව මිල රුපියල් 311ක්. ඔටෝ ඩීසල් ලීටර එක මිල පහත් දම ඇත්තේ රුපියල් 24කින්, එහි නව මිල රුපියල් 283ක්. සුපිරි ඩීසල් ලීටර එක මිල රුපියල් 319ක් දක්වා පහළ ගොස් තිබෙනවා. ඒ ලීටර එක මිල රුපියල් 33කින් පහත හෙලීමත් සමගයි. භූමි තෙල් ලීටර එක මිල පහත් දම ඇත්තේ රුපියල් 19කින්. ඒ අනුව භූමි තෙල් ලීටර එක නව මිල රුපියல் 183ක්. தனுஷா
ஸ்துதி அமர்ஸ்ரீ தற்போது கிடைக்கப்பட்ட செய்தி ஒன்று இன்று நள்ளிரவு முதல் அமலுக்கு வரும் வகையில் எரிபொருள் விலையில் திருத்தம் மேற்கொள்ளப்பட்டுள்ளது. இதற்கமைய ஆக்டேன் 92 ரக பெட்ரோல் 1 லிட்டரின் விலை 21 ரூபாவினாலும் 1 லிட்டர் ஆட்டோ டீசலின் விலை 24 ரூபாவினாலும் குறைக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. சூப்பர் டீசல் 1 லிட்டரின் விலை 33 ரூபாவினால் குறைக்கப்பட்டுள்ளதுடன் மண்ணெண்ணெய் 1 லிட்டரின் விலை 19 ரூபாவினால் குறைக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. ஆக்டேன் 95 ரக பெட்ரோலின் விலையில் மாற்றங்கள் இல்லை என இலங்கை பெட்ரோலிய கூட்டுத்தாபனம் அறிவித்துள்ளது. மீண்டும் அந்த செய்தினை அறிய தருகின்றோம். இன்று நள்ளிரவு முதல் அமலுக்கு வரும் வகையில் எரிபொருள் விலையில் திருத்தம் மேற்கொள்ளப்பட்டுள்ளது. இதற்கமைய ஆக்டேன் 92 ரக பெட்ரோல் 1 லிட்டரின் விலை 21 ரூபாவினாலும் 1 லிட்டர் ஆட்டோ டீசலின் விலை 24 ரூபாவினாலும் குறைக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. சூப்பர் டீசல் 1 லிட்டரின் விலை 33 ரூபாவினால் குறைக்கப்பட்டுள்ளதுடன் மண்ணெண்ணெய் 1 லிட்டரின் விலை 19 ரூபாவினாலும் குறைக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. ஆக்டேன் 95 ரக பெட்ரோலின் விலையில் மாற்றங்கள் இல்லை என இலங்கை பெட்ரோலிய கூட்டுத்தாபனம் அறிவித்துள்ளது. Over to Jamal.
In news just in, the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation has announced a reduction in fuel prices effective from midnight tonight. Accordingly, the price of octane 92 petrol has been reduced by 21 rupees per litre. The new price is 311 rupees per litre. The price of auto diesel has been reduced by 24 rupees per litre, with the new price being 283 rupees per litre. The price of super diesel has been decreased by 33 rupees per litre, with the new price being 319 rupees per litre. The price of kerosene has also been reduced by rupees 19 per litre. The new price is 183 rupees per litre. However, there has been no change in the price of octane 95 petrol.
And with that, we bring to a close tonight's edition of Primetime News.
Thank you for watching.
Good
night.